Hey, what's up, everybody? It's GMrDrew. I had a fellow YouTuber ask me to draw a character, and I told him like, I'm busy, I'm doing stuff, but maybe I'll get to it eventually. He wanted me to draw a character just to see how I can draw. Shout out to Noelzilla. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to get to it in a while, and I wasn't exactly sure what it is you want. I know, and if this audio is terrible, sorry, I got the AC cranking. Like I said, it's summertime in Florida. I can't do it without the AC. But, so yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what you meant by you want me to draw a character. I guess, I could just draw one. You want to see how I draw. I'm not exactly sure what it is you're looking for, but I'm just going to take a wild guess, or maybe I'll just explain to you kind of like the steps of doing things. I'm not going to be able to really put down a piece of work or anything awesome or great. The way I usually draw is I've already like premeditated on a picture, for weeks or months before I even put the pencil down. While I'm working on one thing, I'm thinking about 1, 2, 3 pictures ahead, and so by the time I actually do get to a piece, I kind of have a dozen ideas that I want to like tap into and check out, and then I'll start sketching those out. So that's kind of like the steps that I take, at least. But maybe that's not, I'm not exactly sure if that's what you're looking for or wanted to hear or something. But that's kind of like how it works. So I didn't want to keep you waiting, so I kind of wanted to do it on the spot right now. Plus I just got done with my daily stuff, and it's always good to warm up, get some warm up drawing in before you do something. So this is just my sketchbook. I draw anything and everything in here. It's all just random ideas. I'm not like those artists who put together quote-unquote sketchbooks, but every page is like a masterpiece. It's like, that's more like your illustration book that, just happens to be a book and not loose leaf illustrations. Mine's like if you look at mine, it's all randomness. Even if it's notes, marker sketches, bleeding through the pages, just a bunch of crap, studies. It's literally a sketchbook. Some floor plans, or for construction, some fonts, some logo designs. Like, it's anything that I'm working on at the moment and I want to draw, But anyways, maybe I should lay some pencils down. When I go to draw a character, like let's say one of my favorite characters is Venom. I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan. Not that I don't like him for any particular reason. I don't know any good books. I'm a fan of the idea of Spider-Man, and I know he's like the Batman of the Marvel universe. Batman's like #1 kinda. So I guess Spider-Man would be #1. He has the awesome rogues gallery and whatnot. But yeah, you look at my history, I probably have like 2 Spider-Man sketches from like 2011 or something like that, and that's about all I've ever done. But Venom was always a character that I liked, and he's a character I'm always afraid to draw because I don't want to ruin it for myself. But let me show you something just to give you an idea. Like when I'm drawing things and I'm sketching ideas out, I'm gonna draw. Don't worry. I'm just explaining myself now. I'll do like really quick, really small thumbnails. Sometimes they'll get a little bit larger, but they're obviously all really bad looking. I'm just trying to get like a pose or a camera angle down, and that's about it. These are all like thumbnails from like some comic book pages I was working on a couple years ago. So you can see these are all super rough, but that's kind of what I draw before and then when I get the rough down, I get a you know, then I start drawing it larger on some loose leaf and then on like a finished sheet of paper, you know, using the light box, tracing over my old sketches. And or sometimes I'll take a thumbnail, scan it into the computer, blow it up, and then trace that thumbnail, just a larger version of it, onto a larger sheet of paper, just because the thumbnails are so loose that it captures that action that I like. 'Cause I feel like I'm not that great of an artist still, and when I draw, like if I draw a really good thumbnail that's really small, like let's just say, you know, something like this for instance, I was super happy with it, and then I go to draw it bigger, like let's say like I did here, but I didn't like it bigger because it was too tight, and I like this because it's so loose. That's not the case here. I actually feel like this, I did capture what I wanted with this sketch, but still. Let's say, you know, I wouldn't like this most of the time just because it's not as loose as this sketch was. So I'll take this, scan it in to my computer, blow it up on Photoshop, print it out, and then just trace over my thumbnail sketch, and because I got the dimensions and all the, you know, all the character that I wanted. So I'm gonna make an attempt to draw some Venom, just because he's a character I'm always thinking about drawing and I never do. How I draw, I always start with, you know, the circle. You know, just like they always teach you when you're drawing a character. Usually, I start with the head. You start with this sphere. I don't even feel like I got this figured out yet. This part of the thing, because I know they say you draw the eye line, and then you draw, you know, the front of the face, and you do the forehead, the brow, cheek, and then I always have a hard time trying to get the jaw to work with it. Like if I drew a skull, yeah, I could draw a skull and kind of figure out the face, where the cheekbone goes, where the teeth are, and that'll always help me. But if I'm just drawing a face straight up without, you know, sketching the skull underneath, I don't know, man. I just have a hard time. That's why I say I'm not that great. But so yeah, always start there. The circle, draw the front of the face. I never feel like I could do the jaw justice, and that's where I usually mess up with my faces. Every now and then I can get a face good, but it's pure accident. You know, I need to draw more faces. Like this. Obviously, it's Venom. I like those Venom pictures because he has his mouth really agape, really big. You know, he's glaring his teeth out, and it's kind of like what I wanted to go with on my sketch here. And already I feel like I'm messing it up. Because the jaw is just wicked big, man. You know, I'm just haven't figured it out yet. And I've looked at a million books. I have a million books on drawing faces and things like that. But I don't know. So this is all just super rough right now. I just want to kind of explain to you the steps and then kind of touch it up later. Like I said, I'm not going into this with any sort of plan really. So yeah, and I always, you know, go back to the circle. I usually wouldn't draw a whole face either. I'd probably just kind of rough out, do an outline of it. and then I kind of treat that circle like it's a seed to a plant, and then I draw the spine from the base of the skull. At that point, that's kind of like a stem. And how do I want this guy? I don't want to draw him. I don't know. Probably just draw him standing. And so I draw the spine, treat it like a, like the stem to the body. Even if the front of the body is going to be covering it, it's good to know where the spine is. That way you can kind of build off of it. Get the neck in there. Here's the traps. Traps connect to there. And obviously the collarbone to the shoulder. Don't really have any idea what I'm doing. Draw that. This is why I always draw like the smaller thumbnails, just because it covers less ground, quicker to draw. Maybe that's what I should be doing instead of trying to draw a full scale sketch right away. There's a shoulder. Traps, you can draw the ribs. Yeah, I'm already butchering this drawing. Then again, this is my first time picking up the pencil today. So this is going to be super rough. Remember, there's a artist that I like, Chamba. Everyone's heard of him. You probably heard about him. I remember he drew a pretty sick Venom, where you can still see the guy's face underneath. Whatever, Brock's face underneath. That was always pretty cool. I feel like the reason why I have a hard time drawing as well is because I'm trying to adapt to so many styles simultaneously, and I know people are going to be like, well, why don't you just try like one style and get good at that and then try something else? And it's like, well, I do, but then whenever I try something else, I kind of lose what I learned on the old style. And then it's all relearning it over and over again, which is fine. but you know, because of that, I always feel like, well, then I might as well just kind of just keep drawing until I get good. You know, it's, you know, you can develop your own style, sure, but, and I guess that's the goal, but I mean, I'm trying to like be a jack of all trades type of artist, where if, you know, I want to be able to do tattoos, so I want to be able to draw a tattoo style off rip for somebody if they need it right away, or if someone hires me for some comic pages, I want to be able to draw those, you know, with a good detailed style. And with those, yeah, you can probably find something that works well with both, but I haven't been able to figure that out yet. Yeah, I think my issue is just I'm always, yeah, trying to I'm always switching my style every drawing that I do. It's like I'll do a tattoo design one day, and then I'll do a portrait the next day, and then I'll do a, you know, I'll do like some comic book panels another day, and it gets really hard to like centralize or whatever, you know what I mean? So I kind of pick up little details here and there every time I draw, and then I try to remember those as I go to draw them the next time, and sometimes you just don't remember, man. And then you'll have that really good picture that you drew a while back, and you try to recapture that magic, and you can't, you know? And you're like, damn, what am I missing? What did I do that time that I'm not remembering to do this time? And then you just keep on, like, well, me, I'll keep on drawing and drawing and drawing until I get it. Like I said, I relearn it. And it just makes me feel like I'm behind. Alright, so here's his collarbone, here's some of his chest. Some chest muscles. I was gonna draw him with his, I was going to draw a more extreme pose. That's another thing when I'm drawing, when I draw these sketches, when I draw little thumbnails. I'm drawing this right now, you see it, you know, pretty straightforward drawing. In my head, when I first started laying the pencil down, I wanted to draw something extreme, like an extreme pose. Just to give you an idea of what was going on in my head when I first started drawing, and how far off from that I am right now. Again, this is what happens when I'm not really planning out my drawings. It's just something I gotta get better at, you know. Just gotta get better at drawing. That's all that it is. you know, when I draw, I really enjoy like profile shots or like straightforward shots. Not that I'm afraid of like three-dimensional, you know, hit like the three-quarter views or anything like that. I'm not afraid of them. I don't know. There's not enough action whenever I draw like a three-quarter angle picture. I just haven't been able to figure that out. And I don't know if it's just because you can get more character. Yeah, you see how extreme like this was? I mean, this is still a bad representation of what's going on in my head. That's why I draw over and over and over until I get what I was looking for. See how extreme these are? You know, it's very horizontal, very angular, and then, but I started drawing this, and it's very straight. You know, it's my problem, man. I'm not going to be able to fit his hand in here. I don't want to cover up this other sketch, do I? Yeah. I already messed up. I think it looks bad. I'm actually not mad at the face, even though it doesn't look much like a Venom. It's kind of still pretty dope. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, let's see if I bring this closer. Yeah, you can barely see it on here just because it's so rough. But I have Venom's mouth opened up with the guy's face underneath. Not that great in execution, Andrew. This is why you sketch. I also had another idea. I really wanted to draw him from the profile, just because, you know, Venom always has his mouth open. I really want to draw like an extreme. He's just like, that mouth is up there. I wanted to draw him kind of like hanging on the edge of a building, almost like Spider-Man like, but obviously he's Venom, so he's going to be a lot more, I guess, not cool as Spidey is about it. But yeah, I mean, I start like how I imagine most people start their drawings. I mean, I feel like other artists, you know, most other artists are probably better than me. That's why I don't, you know, this was like anybody else's video doing this, they probably could have had like a nice, decent drawing by now. I've been 25 minutes into the video. I probably started like 10 minutes in, so this is like a good 15-minute drawing, and I only got 3, you know, boot sketches. Yeah, another thing is I'm always trying to find good action pose. I'm not really into those, boring, straight up portrait shots. And that's probably what I need to do, is draw more of those. Get good at that boring straight up stuff, and then maybe I'll get better at, I don't know how that makes sense. Get better at drawing these action poses. I think the key is just keep drawing. Probably my favorite part about Venom is the fact that he has that wicked tongue. Here's like a more extreme pose if he was like hanging on the side of a ledge on a building. I don't know if you can make that out. It's kind of one arm hanging. Shoulder. Big ass shoulders. Big ass traps. Big ass lats, small waist. Does he have a spider sign on his back? I forget. And they have like the circle with the legs that go and they wrap around to the front, something like that. Yeah, it's crazy. He's one of my favorite characters, yet I don't know how to draw him. Too busy always drawing other things. So it's not bad. This isn't bad for like a first sketch, but I wouldn't use this. This leg looks weird over here. Here's his butt, thigh, the knees popping up back here. Here's his big old calf, his thin ankle. And then his foot. And he's holding him, it's on the edge of this building right here. See, like I don't even have this foot connected to the building. This one here. So, where's my eraser? There we go. See, I'm sure if this were a better artist, he would have been able to do that in the first shot. So you kind of have them hanging off the side of the building. It's not terrible. Still not that great. So much for being my favorite character. Can't even draw him. Or one of my favorites, I should say. It's not the favorite. I'd have to draw him more often. But yeah, so that's kind of how I do it. Start off, usually I'll have like an idea of what I want to do, whether I'm drawing this in like, you know, a portrait style. Start off with the head, kind of draw the spine, work the collarbone in, and then the hip bone down here, and then you could always do the heart-shaped thing to show which way the hips are going, and then you could figure out the basically you can figure everything out from there, man. If you can get the bone structure down. You know, and I always look at other artists, man, guys who are way better than me. Like, I like Joe Vereen. Omar Dogan does some really good like female figures. I really like Joe Vereen as well. Really into the Udon comic artist, Chamba. Often kind of look at those guys for inspiration, just because they seem to have figured out kind of, I don't know, man. They just got it figured out. Now, granted, they only they work on comics mainly. I'm sure if you asked them to do like a tattoo design, they'd be able to draw, you know, it's still in their similar comic style, but I'm sure they'd be able to put enough illustrative twist on it for it to match for a tattoo artist to be able to actually tattoo that onto somebody at some point. And me, I'm just trying to be the best at it, so I can do either or at any time. And maybe I'm just going about it the wrong way. Who else do I really like? Cheeks. Cheeks does, you know, he has that really great animation style. Yeah, I got my degree in animation, so I'm always kind of mad at myself that I'm not better. You know, how am I ever going to get around to making movies in, you know, 24 frames per second or 30 frames a second when I can't even draw one single picture? I mean, obviously the answer is practice, but still. where am I going to get that time to get that practice in and, you know, still work on what I like while still making enough money to live. This one's not coming out that bad. I don't even know if you can see it. It's kind of him squatting down. You know, heels are touching. He's on the balls of his feet. His one leg sticking out with his arm. Elbow kind of leaning onto his thigh. Mouth open, of course. One with the hand on the other thigh. Elbows cocked up. Let me see, bring it in a little bit closer. But as you can see, I just draw super rough. Just try to get these poses down. You know, I saw Joe Vereen a couple weeks ago, maybe even more than that. He posted this Copic marker sketch of the you know, the old Batman, Frank Miller's Batman, the Dark Knight Returns Batman, and it was sick, man. I couldn't. As someone who's trying to step away from digital for the most part and get better at doing traditional work, when you see another artist kind of kicking ass at it, it's like, yeah, you want to learn from them, kind of see what they did, and you know, see how you can adapt it. But then on the other end, it's like, God, man, you know, like, not that my marker sketches are that bad. You know, I did some TMNT ones, like sketch card TMNT ones. I don't know, maybe a month ago. They didn't come out that bad. And again, they were just straight up drawings. They were, you know, I drew them on an angle from an above angle, but it was still. But, so yeah, this is how I draw. Sorry if camera angle's bad, I'm drawing in the upper corner. I'm not keeping the drawing centered. I wonder if I could zoom in, just pull the camera in like that does. Does that help? It's not bad. Then have him talking shit and saying something. He's just like, hey, talking all out and shit. But yeah, I mean, that's how I draw as far as like getting my drawing started. Super rough. Try to loosen up. Obviously, the looser I get, the better to get. Like I said, before filming this video, I hadn't drawn a thing. Yeah, now that I'm starting to loosen up, maybe these things will start to look a little bit better. Well, I'm at 40 minutes. Let's see if I could do an hour. So again, see, I start with the circle, kind of draw the face in a little bit, and then I do the collarbone. It always goes around, and then you can build like the muscles around it. You can identify the body. This will be the front, this will be the back. Loop around down here around his crotchal region. So that's the front. This is where the collarbones will meet. Collarbone connects to the shoulder. Shoulder to the traps. Traps to the neck. Shoulder blades. Shoulder connects to the collar and the chest. Man, I'm ripping through my paper. It's not drawing too hard over here. That's his chest. Maybe I'll have him swinging a little bit forward. He's holding on to something. Ribs. Let's go a little bit forward here. That is. Yeah, I keep ripping through my paper. What's up with this lead? It's super hard. What's going on with my paper, why it's so soft. Yeah, these thighs look ridiculous. Again, when I'm drawing without any ideas or any plans, it's just the possibilities are endless. Maybe not have his legs kick out. Maybe I'll just have him stand in. Yeah, this is dumb. This video, total waste. Again, I just didn't want to keep you waiting. I know you wanted to see how I draw. Maybe I let you into see how I draw. Obviously, these drawings are terrible. Have him standing there. Stand there tough, all puffed out maybe. I think you get the idea. Again, start with the head, do the spine, finish out the jaw, draw the neck and the muscles according to that, and then kind of just shape out the body. Side. don't know. If this is a waste of time, waste of video, I'm sorry. Kind of let you in, wanted to see how I draw. This is kind of how it goes down, but that's if I knew exactly what I was doing. A lot again. And yeah, I could sit there and draw sketches for forever and ever, man. Like if I jump back and show you the beginning of this sketchbook, I was working on Cheeks was doing like a Bastion 7 fan art thing, and I mean, like, these are all a bunch of sketches that I was drawing of the little characters. Here's one like carrying a bag of dumplings and stuff. Obviously the red X's are poses that I didn't like. Ones that don't have red X's on them, like this guy, I was like, alright, I could work with those. And I was trying to get a bunch of other, and like, you know, these I had ideas for. You know, they're a lot cleaner, they're more straightforward, less lines and stuff like that. They're smaller, they get the point across. Actually, and give me a second. I actually got the picture done. Here's a small print of it, actually. I know, you can barely see it. But it's his Cheeks. He had these Bastion 7 characters. And I guess these little guys turn into these big guys, maybe? So I had like the little guy and the big guy, their transformation, and they're crazy for dumplings. But yeah, as you can see, I think this pose here is this guy, and this pose here became this guy. It's a shame you missed the legs, because I have the small guys with the smoke in the foreground. And this pose here became this guy. But you could only see them from like the waist up. And again, the little guys, this guy's flipping upside down with his bag of dumplings down here. Would have been this sketch. I love these. This is like when the animator in me comes out, and I'm actually good. And that's him right here. I'm carrying the bag above him. And then this sketch down here, I had this guy carrying 2 bags. Had them all kind of like ninjas doing a bank robbery or something. But yeah, so you can see I go way loose, and I have a bunch of crappy sketches and everything. I was like, nope, not gonna work. And that's kind of the process. You know, it goes there, it starts from the sketches, then I just draw those poses bigger. Obviously these are really, I don't know, I really like these poses. They came out great. Like, I wish I could, like, this is what I'm talking about, I wish I could tap into this state of mind that I was in when I drew these. Because I obviously you can see they're like kind of like one shots. There's not much like line work going in compared to what I was doing today with these Venom sketches. Like, now you see how hectic these are compared to how those were. See how many lines got involved. This is probably my favorite out of this video. You know, this one right here, I'll probably work with this one, flesh this pose out a little bit more, maybe try some different angles. You know, but I'd be able to draw his little signature thing, or his little logo on his chest and have that running through his body, you know, so it'd be clear as day. It's a good pose. It ain't bad, but yeah, so you can compare these really loose sketches where I don't know what I'm doing compared to these still loose but a little bit tightened up. It's still pretty tight. This one got a little crazy just because he's basically hunched in a ball with his arms fully extended over his head, but he's upside down and he's kind of like doing a flip. Have him flipping out of the smoke. Hey, I don't know. Like I said, I did this for you. It is a good warm up. It's a good that I'm kind of admitting that I'm not as awesome as I want to be just yet. And you know, maybe you got what you were looking for out of this. Maybe somewhere down the line you'll get a more cohesive explanation, but you know, like I've been working on this one lately. This is what I was working on yesterday. This is what I mean when I go from the sketch stage. This would be stage 2, where I do the pencils, I do them larger, and ultimately clean it up a bit more so it's a little bit more, you know, visible and things like that. And then from there I go to inking, or I do the clean pencils after that, then I do the inks, and then I'll do like watercolor or markers or colored pencils or whatever I get into with that particular image. I haven't gotten into paints yet, like acrylics or anything like that just yet. My airbrush keeps breaking on me, so haven't been able to do much airbrushing. And haven't practiced with my tattoo kit, which I'm sure plenty of people are disappointed in me for, but you know, that's all it is. I'm gonna jump back into my brother's SAR drawing, and that's the end of this video. You know, let me know what you guys think. Thank you very much. This is GMrDrew. Instagram, GMrDrew, GMrDrew. Twitter, it's GMrDrew. Facebook, Andrew Gloszewski. Hit me up, follow, like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Thanks for watching.